Welcome to this week's webinar Wednesday. Yes, it's our second ever webinar Wednesday, a phrase I coined last week, which I think is going to stick. So this week we're diving into how to price your personal training services in 2024. So without further ado, let's just dive straight into the meat of the content and what we're doing today. So these are our objectives today. We've got three objectives. Number one is I want you to understand the key aspects that determine your pricing model. That's really important because there's not one way to skin a cat. There's not one way to price your personal training model. We're going to share what we do our side, but you need to come up with whatever works for your business too. We're going to share the exact pricing model with you so you can ethically steal it. How about that? You can ethically steal our pricing model and how we're doing it so you can apply it to your business. Because again, remember, Strength Matters is just the digital marketing side of things. We have our fitness business over the other side of things, and we're just sharing everything that we're doing with you guys so you can buy into it soon, hopefully use it and ethically steal it. And the third thing is we're going to answer any questions you have about pricing your services. That's the whole purpose today. That's the whole main goal. So everything around pricing and packaging and how we're doing it behind the scenes. So hopefully it'll give you some new ideas on what to do to move forward. So I'm going to start off with a simple question or a bit of math, depending on which way we're going to look at it. So I want you to imagine you have 20 clients and each client trains 2 hours a week. How many hours of PT is that? Simple math, not a trick question, I promise you. So very quickly in the chat box, if anyone here can just pop it up to make sure you're still alive, you can hear me. How many hours of PT is that a week? Hopefully you all said it, and it is 40 hours, right? Nothing too crazy, but 40 hours of PT a week, that's quite a lot in terms of PT training. Think about it. Imagine if you were doing or are doing currently 40 hours of PT a week, it's pretty exhausting. Now, let's ask you the same question now. Now imagine you have 40 clients, right? Each client does 2 hours a week. How many hours of PT is that? You all should guess it now. That's 80. Is 80 hours of PT a week doable? Is it even feasible? Is it possible? Right? I know for one that I do not want to be doing 80 hours of PT a week. That is incredible. No matter how much I like doing it, right? 80 hours of one-to-one PT in person is extremely hard. Okay. So is it possible? Yes, maybe. If you want a life, no, not at all. So what I want to share with you today is our personal training model, which is 1 to 50 clients. So technically using the same thing, you'd be going, well, if I have 50 clients and they're each doing 2 hours a week, that's 100 hours a week. How does that work? Well, we know our optimal level for both in terms of running the business and having money and cash flow coming in and working with a number of clients that we can service kind of the best is optimal at 1 to 50 for the business, more around 1 to 40, but 1 to 50 is the absolute limit to give a professional service. How do we do that though? How do we realistically do that? Well, that's what we're going to talk about on the webinar today. So let's talk about the importance of pricing first. Pricing is so important because it's the cornerstone of everything you're doing in your personal training business. It sets you up for everything. Now, if you set the right prices, you will attract the right clients, and also you make sure you are profitable from these clients. Incorrect pricing can dissuade potential clients, right? Either end of the spectrum. It could be too low, it could be too high. It will deter them, and you won't have sustainability and value in your business. And finally, you've got to find the balance, right? Balance in the force, like Star Wars quote, first one of the day. But you've got to find the balance between pricing high, pricing low, and what works for you and your business and the area you're working with. So here are some of the big pricing mistakes we see time and time again. Number one, pricing too low. People price it so low, it's incredible. They think, oh, Joe Blogs down the road is charging $30 an hour, therefore I must charge $25 an hour. Boom. It is a race to the bottom, right? It can hurt your profitability, it can hurt your reputation, because guess what? People will judge you based on your prices, right? They will judge you based on your prices. Think about it in terms of a doctor. If you go to a doctor that's charging $100 an hour compared to the $1,500 an hour doctor, which one do you think, without knowing him, is the most credible and the most trustworthy that you'd like to go and see? The $1,500 an hour one, right? Well, I hope so anyway, depending on budget. But that's the point. Prices are what determine your professional image in some ways. But most people charge too low. Now, then on the flip side, they charge way too high, because they think that's what all the business coaches tell me. Raise the prices, go super high. That's great. But what about life? It looks really good if you sell one package once and it bumps up your monthly profits. But guess what? Is that person going to stay with you? No, because they've probably blown their budget with you in that 1 month or 2 months or whatever it is. So you can't overprice. Number three, value communication. They don't communicate the value people are going to get from your services. They don't understand it, right? You may offer nutrition coaching, you may offer it, but if you're one-to-one only and you don't communicate this value, they don't get it. They don't understand what you're trying to do. So they don't communicate the value of what they're doing. And finally, they don't know their margins. They don't know their margins. The golden figure here is 60% margin, i.e., after all the costs are equated for, you need to have a 60% profit margin for your training. For example, if you are charging $100 an hour, let's just say it, and your rent for the space is $50, that's 50% profit margin, which is not good. And you need to bump that up so you're above 60% as an ideal world. Just to give you an idea, so profit margins are really important, but 60% is where we need to get to. Now, some of the pricing strategies we're talking about today. Well, we got to think about what packages we create to incentivize commitment for people. We're going to offer some discounts to attract and retain clients. Yes, you should sometimes discount, right? And that's what we do to really incentivize and keep people with us and retain them. We're going to bundle services for added value to make sure they understand what's going on and to give extra value to keep them on board. And then again, we talk about this communicating value and showcasing our expertise. We've got to keep continually communicating this value and our expertise to our clients. And again, sometimes we have to adjust the rates over time to reflect growth and market changes. Hopefully, you've raised the rates recently. If not, maybe you should consider it. If you haven't done for a long time, well, you definitely need to raise the rates because you've got to take into consideration all your operating costs going forward too. So you're going to bear all these things in mind. And these are all certain pricing strategies. Now, here are some top tips for communicating pricing effectively. Number one is just be transparent, right? From the offset, just be transparent, say what it is, say how much it costs, ask whether it's in your budget, and you need to build trust with people because people hide their prices. They have extra bump-ons here, there, and everywhere. Just be completely transparent. That's what we find works best. Again, justify your rates, communicate your value. Why are you so good? Why are you so expensive? What do you offer that's different to Joe Blogs down the street? Again, we use free strategy calls all the time, both in Strength Matters and with our Cricket Matters business. It builds rapport, it builds trust, and we're okay with giving away 15 minutes of our time for free to speak to prospective clients, right? And again, flexibility. You've got to be flexible with what you need. The client's needs now change, not just working in the office. They're working from home. They're working on their travels. They're working in the office. You've got to be flexible. So your pricing needs to accommodate this flexibility in the way the world's gone. And finally, obviously, testimonials help communicate your value. They help communicate the pricing, particularly when people see it and they say, hey, this is really great value for money on the testimonials you should be building on Google reviews if you haven't watched it last week. Now, it's about finding the sweet spot. You've got to find the sweet spot. Now, here in Wales, I can't charge what I was charging in London or if I was living in the United States. You've got to bear that in mind. So you've got to balance benefits. Pricing should benefit both the trainer and the client. That's really important based on the economic circumstances and the area. Again, lifetime value of clients. That's really important to us. We're not just looking for a one-off payment. We've got clients who've been with us 8, 9, 10 years plus. That lifetime value is exceptionally high. We've tried every pricing point under the sun, and we know kind of what works for us and works really well. Again, what's a sustainable business? You can't just have flash in the pan sales 1 month, nothing the next month. How are you building recurring revenue into your business so it's predictable and reliable each and every time for sustainable growth? And again, you've got to create this value perception. What is it you are doing to reflect your service's worth through pricing? Because sometimes you can offer a 5-star service, but you're charging 1-star prices, and that doesn't go well. You attract the wrong people, set the wrong expectations and the wrong demand. So let's bear that in mind. And again, I alluded to this earlier on. What is your differentiation in the market? Like a simple tip for you, if you find what everyone else is charging in the area, I would charge more. Right? I'll make sure you charge more and charge the most in your area. Personally, I do it in Cardiff and I'll do it everywhere else I go to because people charge too low and they base their perception of value on you based on prices a lot of times. So if you want to differentiate yourself, if you want to keep charging $30, $50 an hour, whatever you want to do, keep being one of those trainers and fit in with the men, or go up the high levels and maybe charge $100 an hour or something. But again, the pricing depends on you, and we'll talk about that in a second. But pricing is a way to stand out in your local market. And again, target market. Who are you targeting? Are you targeting people, on low income wages, or are you targeting people who are very high end, specific niches, who have got a lot of money to burn, right? If you charge too low, the guys at the top end won't go anywhere near you. If you charge too high, the guys at the bottom end won't work with you. So you've got to find that sweet spot. And again, it comes back to that 60% profit margin. We've always got to bear that in mind. So figure out your costs before you figure out what your pricing is going to be. So factors to consider when you're determining your cost. Number one is, what is your experience and credentials? Have you got 15, 20 years of service in? Or are you fresh out of PT school, essentially? So obviously you can charge more straight out of PT school, but you haven't got the credibility to do it. So you're going to bear in mind this as well. Number two is, what is your location? Now here in Cardiff, and you'll see what our prices are shortly, but I charge £100 an hour for my time working one-on-one. That is about double what it is by anybody else in the area. Why £100? Because I found that's the sweet spot here. Anything more is just too much. Anything less, I'm just competing with the rest of the folks. But the point is, if I go to London, it'll be a lot different because people expect £100 an hour. So you may be looking at £150 an hour or $150, whichever way you want to look at it. So location determines what your pricing is on the local market. London, New York will be different compared to Cardiff here in Wales. What's your overhead? Comes down to the margins, right? So you determine your overhead before you start to determine your pricing. Who are your target market? We spoke about this before. High-end clients expect high-end prices. Low-end clients expect low-end prices. And finally, yes, have a look at your competition so you can do things differently to what they are doing. Don't copy them. Do something different. When people zig, you zag, very simply. Right, so these are some of the standard pricing models we see, and we've seen time and time again. Number one is just charged by the hour. Someone comes to you, yeah, I'll take you $100 off you. That's it, done. Thank you very much. There's no thought process. There's no strategy in place. They just take it ad hoc, one-on-one, pay me when you see me. It's a strategy that more people use than you'd like to think. Number two, package deals. Classic examples of 5 packs, 10 packs, 20 packs, all these type of packs. People will pay per session. They'll buy a package in advance and they'll go with that. That's fine. Tried and tested. It's been used for many times. Not always the best way that I'd recommend using, but it's an option nonetheless. Then you have a simple monthly retainer, which I think is the best way to do it, to breed this longevity, simplicity. So people are paying every month no matter what. And also for you guys to manage it, have them on a system like Stripe or like a CRM system that we use, they have this monthly retaining income coming, so they know what's coming in, when, where, what, how. And also you can do some kind of time limited packages. Massage therapists do this quite a lot. Hey, get 3 massages for the price of 5, but you have to use them by the end of the month. Simple things like that. You can do sort of things that I don't tend to use time limited packages that often, but these are some of the standard pricing models that you see. And what happens? Which one's best? Which one is best? Which one should you use? Well, it depends. But I like to think, and this is where we do the grand reveal of how we're doing things, there's a hybrid approach to this pricing based on the current needs of the market. Now, I can see Andrew Wallace is in the chat box there. Hopefully, he can hear me and he can at least comment in the box to make sure everyone's listening in intently. So as I switch the screen to the next one, if I use that, have a quick sip on my drink. I want to introduce you to the hybrid pricing model that we use for Cricket Matters. Okay. Now, Strength Matters is our digital marketing agency. Cricket Matters is where we do all the coaching, all the training. So, what is hybrid pricing, and what is our model that we use? This includes a mixture of online training, package deals, monthly retainers, and time limited packages, right? Less so the time limited packages at the moment, but if we do run a specific offer at a certain time of the year, like it's the start of the cricket season now, we could use some time limited package accordingly. So how does this hybrid pricing model work? So, well, firstly, think about the benefits, right? Think of the benefits. What we're trying to do is create a more personalized attention, more personalized service to the people we work with. We're going above and beyond. It makes it easier for us, but also it looks to the clients that they're getting an exceptional level of service because it's more personalized. There's going to be more flexibility and freedom for the clients and the coaches and us as coaches. It's why we have the 1 to 50 model. Okay. What we're going to see here now is the flexibility and freedom we all crave that we've kind of devised and working with, yet still working with people in person because we still like that. All the talk is about people working just online these days. Well, people still like working in person, and that's where the best results tend to come. It's a mixture of the two. Again, talking about providing a high level of service along with personalized attention. And guess what? More importantly, the clients we work with absolutely love it and they love what we're doing. And it's definitely the model that we're moving forward with long term. And I can't see us changing any time soon. So, what does this look like in action? How do we approach this? How can you approach it and use it yourselves in your business? Now, with us, everything starts with online training. Okay. Even though they're coming in for one-on-one PT, potential coaching, everything starts with online coaching. That's where we start because we want to solve the other 160 plus hours in the week. We want to make sure they're working with us, not just in person, but online too. And we set the expectations right at the start. This is a non-negotiable monthly retainer for our online services, bar none. It starts with online coaching, so they get that, and then we ask whether they want to go either some time limited, also limited time packages, e.g., a 10 pack for clients, right, who live far away. Because believe it or not, I get a lot of clients who live a long way away, say in London, that travel to see me in person. Monthly retainers don't work for them, right? They want to come and see me for 2 hours once a month or once every fortnight because of the travel involved, work with me in person, and go away. We work with them online, and then a month later they come back and do another 2 sessions, right? And we have these 10 packs for those guys, okay? Or if they live in the local area, which fewer and fewer people are now, they go onto a monthly charge for the month, e.g., for 1 session a week, 2 sessions a week, 3 sessions a week. But it always starts with online training, right? It starts with the online training first. We focus on that because for us, training is training is training. It's just the way we deliver it today. Everyone's trained since the Greek times, okay? The point is, it's the methods we use to deliver that training has changed over time. Nothing is new in fitness, pretty much, okay? Just the way we deliver it. And that's what we do here. We make sure they understand they're getting online training first, and we're with them every single day of the week before we go into the one-on-one PT sessions. So we're creating that expectations on a new expectation, setting the framework up from the start. Again, this flexible pricing options allow for customized packages based on the individual clients involved. Okay, so let's look at it more specifically. So this is the hybrid online pricing model. Okay, so again, we start with high online coaching first. This is our pricing model. Let's talk about this in detail. Assuming somebody is coming to us for the very, very first time, this is what happens. They are going to be paying $997 for 12 weeks of online coaching, right? That is non-negotiable. That is our 12-week package of working with us in person, online, right, where we start here. Because we know we get the best results when we work with people day in, day out, not ad hoc 1, 2, 3 sessions a week. And in that time frame, they get a choice. They can either go pro or they can go pro plus. Those are the 2 services we offer. Pro is where most people end up. We don't use the pro plus where it goes in full depth energy system training with a lot of people. We say that for the higher end clients or the people who are going to use most of these assessments and can benefit from our expertise. Here we give 2 choices. Most people who are already overweight, who don't need to do much assessments, will fit within this 12-week category, and particularly a lot of the kids who we work with and come with. So they tend to fit in this category too, or they have a lot of mobility issues. The Pro Plus is more for people who have injury issues, who are trying to make it professional, or who are higher level of fitness than most other people. The difference between the 2 is the level of the assessments that we do, our brain power, and the time it takes us to analyze the assessments and also write the programs. So That's for 12 weeks, non-negotiable. Why do we do 12 weeks? Because people like finite times when they start working with you for the first time. They don't want to be committed in for 12 months. They want to see results in a time frame that is amenable to them. Let's put it that way. So for us, we find the balance is 12 weeks. Do we agree? Do we think 12-week programs are great? No. What we're doing is trying to meet the market with where they're at. So it starts with 12 weeks. We know where we're going, and then we move on to something else after that. But the point is, they come in, there's a choice of 2 options for 12 weeks, online only. This is where it starts. Then we do a classic McDonald's thing. Would you like fries with that? Again, if you've been to McDonald's, you know they'll ask you, what they used to anyway. Hey, you order a Big Mac. Hey, would you like fries with that? It's their little upsell because they make more money off the upsells afterwards, right? They make no money at all hard on the Big Mac. It's the large fries, which they ask you to. Hey, do you want fries with that? Want to go large? That's where they make their money in. So this is what we do the same with this. So we have 2 options. The monthly in-person model, where most of you guys who are listening will probably want to use this because you want to get people into you and work with you consistently. So if they want to work with you once a week, here's a model of what we use. Again, I'm charging £100 an hour. So I've literally just gone for 4 private sessions once a week, which is $125 essentially, roughly, give or take. That's $500 a month, right? So they're paying that $997 or $1,497 plus the $500 a month to work with us in person. If they want to go 2 times a week, again, they can get 2 free sessions, so it's $750 a month. Or if they're working with us 3 times a week, they're then working with us at $1,125 plus the $997 upfront payment in terms of online, or they can manage out. We can blend it into monthly installments, whatever they want to do for the first 12 weeks. Right, it's only 12 weeks we work with these guys in to begin with, but that's our in-person model. Our most popular one is the once a week training model. Do you see now why we can work with about 1 to 50 clients? Right, so essentially what's happening is because of the flexibility we're giving them, these guys can then go and work from home and train at home. They can then also train in a hotel gym if they're traveling, or they come and see us, or they can swap a few things around based on our booking availability. But the point is, we've gone from working with people twice a week in person, which to be honest, I find quite hard sometimes. Much I enjoy doing PT and one-to-one, I much prefer once a week catching up because there's a bit of less talk, hopefully, or there's not that monotonous time sometimes where like a dead time and zone. You've been with them such a long time, you don't speak about it sometimes. The idea is like once a week is where most people go naturally. Okay, a few people are 2 times a week, and very rarely do we get anybody coming in 3 times a week now based on this service. So but it gives you an option. It gives people 3 options based on what they are and what the level of budgets they are working with you. Now, again, like I said, I call this the cash flow booster, which I think works quite well. So for people who live far away, right, or people who don't want the in-person monthly retainer, but they need technique sessions. It could get them for the first time. They've never done any deadlifting or squatting or Turkish get-ups. And to them, you need to do some hands-on work to teach them how to do this. Or they got some more specific kind of bit of rehab work to get them with their whatever parts of their body they need to fix. We may need a couple of sessions, and it's only a couple of sessions that they need. So this is what we call the cash flow booster, where this for me works best when people are coming from far away, or for those people who just need a couple of refreshing sessions, like a technique boost is what I call them. So they got a choice of 5 sessions, 10 sessions, or 20 sessions, right? Yes, so we do use this per session kind of block package system, but it's layered on top of the online coaching monthly retainer, or like the one-off payment they do for that for 12 weeks. This is just a boost on. Most people, again, from what I'm finding, they tend to go for the 5 sessions. And then once they kind of see that, maybe want to do some more with this later down the line, they go for the 10 sessions. The 20 sessions just offsets some of the stuff and gives an option for people to come and work with at the same time. But there's this balance, this flexibility, this freedom on both sides, which is why we can work with so many more clients. And we're doing a lot of online stuff with them in person. We're setting these expectations up from the start. So what about after the 12 weeks? It's the question we get time and time again. What happens after the 12 weeks? Well, the online pricing model becomes this. One price at $297 per month. Simple as that. Right? We find $297 a month for the online pricing. It becomes standard. That is the most tested price point we have run on all our business for lifetime value and maximum client retention, because it's not too cheap, it's not too expensive. It's like the Goldilocks effect. And it makes a difference whether they start off at the Pro or the Pro Plus, because most of the work starts in the first 12 weeks before we set them up into the system of how we're doing everything else. So the Pro and the Pro Plus then goes to $297 a month. We don't do any contracts. We just say to us, give us 30-day notice if you wish to cancel at any time. And that is what we find works the best. And then, very simply, you just layer on the other stuff. The 5, 10, 20 pack sessions, they stay the same price. The monthly in-person sessions stay the same price. The only thing we change is this pricing point here. So it becomes a little bit less. So we discount it slightly, but it keeps them on a retainer at a price point we find is optimal, working for us. So the question is, how much should you charge? And hopefully you guys will realize now it's not a one size fits all. It depends on your location, your market, the value that you deliver, and the services that you are offering. So, short, sharp, and sweet today. I'm going to start off with any questions. Any questions from anybody here? And you know, there's probably a little bit of a delay in between the lag of presenting and what's coming back. I know Andrew can hear us here now. Supergirl says great insights. Thank you very much. Now, is it a new concept of coaching? Yes, no, I don't know. Let me know. It's what we found and works really well for us and how we're delivering it to our clients. It works best for the cricket clients. It's worked best for our PT clients when we're doing them too. So hopefully it starts to make sense. So again, fire away with any questions in the comments down below. But in the meantime, just a very quick recap of what we've done today. Number one is, I shared with you different pricing strategies, right? Those are the different pricing strategies they have available to us that you can use and mix and match. I then showed you our exact pricing model and what we charge, right, for Cricket Matters and how we do with our fitness business. And finally, I've hopefully given you a bit of a different way to think about pricing your PT business. Hopefully, maybe not. Either way, at least you get some ideas and can go away with it today, and let us know in the comments down below. If you watch it in the future or you're watching it now, we'd love to know what you think about it. Or if you implement it, again, let us know what you think. So let me ask you a very quick question. If you applied this to your business today, do you think it would help in getting you more clients, money, profit, etc., etc.? I'm hoping it will, right? So hopefully you're leaving here today a little bit excited about some new ideas and how you got to implement them into your business. Now, as always, my name's James. If you've never met me before, please follow me, be my friend across Twitter, Instagram. If you're not following Strength Matters on all the social media platforms, please do so. We really appreciate it. We are trying to share as much content as we can here, which is why we're doing Webinar Wednesdays now too. And to finish off, one more thing, as always, a little gift for you guys, for those who are watching now or maybe in the future. One of the things we use time and time again is what we call the free strategy core playbook. It's how we convert new potential leads into clients. It's a 10-step system, and it's a simple non-salesy solution to convert more leads into clients and patients and all patients. So all you got to do is WhatsApp this number, right? Add Strength Matters to your contact list, add that number, just text playbook, and all of a sudden you'll get our free strategy guide in the comments. All right, so we'll send it out to you straight away. And finally, for those who know what we do, we specialize in getting websites ranked number one on Google. If your website is not currently at number one on Google and you want to figure out why, we'll give you a free website audit, absolutely free of charge. So give it a go. Let me know what happens. On that note, we got a question coming in. Got a good question from Andrew. Did he try any other timeframes other than the 12 weeks? Yes, we tried 30 days. We tried 60 days. And what we found was it just didn't help. People are so accustomed to 12 weeks, right? We tried, 8 weeks we did as well at one point, where it's 2 months, but it wasn't the optimal thing. We found, particularly the way we do things and helping people rehab and get out of pain and move better, things start slowly and it's a snowball effect. So month 3 is when we tend to get the best results. So it was in month 3 that people start to go, hey, I feel really good about this. And likewise, we know results don't come in 21 days or less. The point is that we start to see them about 3 months in. So that was reason the sweet spot was there. It was to maximize clients with us to our value, but also to give them enough time to start to see and feel results at the same time. Hope that helps. So thanks, guys. Much appreciated. As always, the comments will be on here now. Leave us a comment down below. Get in touch with us. Download your free playbook if you haven't done so already. And we'll see you on the next webinar Wednesday. See you guys. As always, from Wales, ciao from now, as I say in Llandau.